Hi, folks, and welcome back to another session here in the Lumix Lounge. We're at WPPI 2015 here in the Convention Center in Las Vegas. I'm sitting on stage with my good friend, Mr. Skip Cohen of Skip Cohen University, and we're going to talk about social media.
What a concept.
Business. Stuff that
what
you know.
What a concept.
I know.
Yeah,
you teach this stuff, right?
Yeah, once in a while.
Yeah. So, all right. So everybody knows who Skip Cohen is, but for the 12 people that don't, give us a little bit of a taste of your history and what you've done in the photography industry.
80%,
not that other stuff, just the photography industry.
80% of my gray hairs are from having been president of WPPI, Rangefinder, and this show. And it's
just
so
that.
much. Yeah, it's so much fun to be at this show and not have somebody come up and whine about the fact that they don't like the pillows in their room, which I never could do anything about anyway.
Yeah.
Before that was president of Hasselblad USA. And here I am, and now I have SCU, and I hang out with you guys and the luminaries, and I'm shooting again. I'm not a shooter. I do not make a living as a photographer, but
you
I'm
know
having
how to
a
shoot.
blast.
Yeah.
I know more than I let on. I just don't. I don't love it enough that I'd want to do it for a living. I'm more interested in the marketing and business.
Yeah.
It's sort of like, what good is creating the greatest image of your life if nobody knows who you are, or
Tree
you can't
falls
sell
in the forest,
it?
right?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So, and that's my background.
That's awesome. I mean, that is the one-liner. I mean,
I
used to run all this stuff, and you know Hasselblad, those cameras. I used to run that stuff. Yeah.
I've had an amazing career, and I love it because I continue to have an amazing career.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Before we dive into the social media stuff, I just want to go a little bit deeper on that.
I don't want to go deeper.
We're going
All
deeper.
right, go ahead.
Sorry,
Go deeper.
put on your scuba gear. We're going deeper. Okay. So with every time I see you at trade shows from time to time, we chat, you're always enthusiastic about photography, about business, about people you meet, and how do you keep up the enthusiasm? How do you stay inspired in an industry that, it's not stagnating, it's changing all the time, but how do you stay excited?
First answer is that lady right there. That's
off
the first
camera?
answer.
Yeah.
You
Sheila
have to
is
have,
off camera, by the way.
whether it's your wife, your husband, your best friend, you got to have somebody that you share this stuff with. You got to have some kind of a partner, even if they're not formally involved in your business.
Mm-hmm.
Second thing is, you got to do what you love. If you don't love what you're doing, then get the hell out of it and take a break and go figure out what it is you love doing. I've had a lot of chapters in my career that have been really fun. This is one of the most fun chapters because I love what I'm doing. I love the fact that every morning I wake up and realize how screwed up I am because there's something else I don't know. Right. You putting on the Google glasses last year.
Yeah.
Oh, hell, I wouldn't even know how to get the software going for them, and I'd be walking around with my reading glasses on and not figuring out why I can't see anything.
Right.
I love this industry. It is a healthy industry, and I'm constantly accused of being the industry cheerleader, which is such crap because if you really look...
What's wrong with that, though?
I don't think there's anything wrong with it at all, but if you look at the numbers, the industry is healthy. What's not healthy are photographers looking at the fact that they might have to do business differently today to find the client base. And maybe you're going to have to be more diverse, and maybe you've got to understand Twitter, and your website's got to look good.
Yep.
Everything has changed. It's not the same anymore. But if you look at the numbers, there's still over 2 million weddings a year taking place. There's still, I want to say there's something like 16 million high school graduates. No, I think it's 16 million kids in high school, of which like 4.5, 5 million need a senior headshot every year. That's constantly replenishing. Then you've got boudoir right now, which is one of the fastest growing segments, growing like senior photography did, let's say going back 8 to 10 years ago.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Gee, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, boudoir is actually very, very hot right now.
Yeah.
If it's done right.
Right.
Tasteful boudoir. Not
like Sue Bryce type stuff. Yeah.
Sue Bryce, Jen, come on, Jen.
Adler?
Thank you. No, Lindsay Adler.
Lindsay Adler. Yeah.
But come on, I can't remember Jen. I can't believe I'm on camera and I can't remember Jen's last name.
I don't know. We'll put it in the lower
amazing
third
stuff.
later.
Put it in the lower third. This is what the name Skip couldn't remember.
Yeah.
Jen Rosenberg.
There you go.
In New York. There's so many exciting things going on now with photographers understanding that they just have to change the way they reach the client. Because the market could be very healthy. Same with digital. You had all those photographers 10, 12 years ago that said, oh, photography's going to hell, now digital's here.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not. You still need an artist. You still need the creativity of the artist. So
how do you, I asked you about how do you stay inspired in the industry. When you look at, say you take one photography business as an example, that photographer has to be an artisan, he has to be a technician, he has to, depending on the genre of photography, he has to be a psychologist in some ways, right? And now we're asking these photographers to understand the business piece, but also all of these different social media networks, which is a moving target. You've got Facebook, Twitter, Google+, LO, Pinterest, on and on and on and on. How are they supposed to be a good photographer and stay on top of all these trends while also staying on top of the trends on how to get the word out about their business?
Well, as Jeff Yoakum said years ago, you have to right source as opposed to outsource. Yeah. You've got to be willing to give up some things to farm it out. Right. You can't learn everything. You can't be an expert in every aspect. I mean, right now, I understood Facebook until they changed all their parameters, and now I'm not sure I totally understand it. Yeah. But there are experts out there that do understand it. Now for me, I've got an easy time. My target are professional photographers or serious aspiring amateurs. Mm-hmm. I know how to find them. It's clear enough to find them. But if I was a children's photographer now and I wanted to reach hundreds of thousands of moms within a 100-mile radius, let's say of my studio, that's where I start to trip up, because you've got to understand Pinterest. You've got to understand Facebook is still a good draw. Mm-hmm. Google Plus has some spots. Mm-hmm. For me right now, it's Facebook and Twitter are best for me reaching photographers. LinkedIn has a place. Yep. But in terms of trying to find the time, this is my full-time job. So I've got time to learn it as I move along, and it is a moving target. As a photographer, you've got to sit back and farm that out. Right. For a photographer to understand some of these different social media platforms, to me right now is a waste. They have to respect it, and they have to get an expert in that does know it to help them. Yeah. But their biggest strong suit is building relationships, which you and I talked about here at some point.
We did.
I just
it's one of these
too.
shows.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's all right.
I go, no.
Yeah, all right. It's all right.
I can't remember names. I'm spitting when I talk. Yes, this is live.
So if you look at the brass tacks of this stuff, like when you get into it, and they're like, photographers like, okay, Skip, I hear you. I need to outsource this stuff. I need to find my weaknesses and augment them with people that do that good, right? So that's what you're saying. Once they do that, how do you niche down? So in other words, if you look at this, you look at the world now, it's smaller because we have this network around it.
Tiny. It's
tiny. You can reach people in corners of the world that you would never have had access to. But it's good that the other edge of that sword is, how do if I'm a local wedding photographer, like many people are, I'm not doing destinations, I only need to get people in my zip code and maybe the surrounding zip codes. I don't need the entire internet. So should I be tweeting to the world? Should I be Pinteresting to the world? Or should I try to only talk to my customers?
I think you should try and talk to your customers first and give them the best effort you can at trying to find them. Mm-hmm. That's also where your website plays a role. That's where, good example, if a picture's worth 1,000 words, then you don't need to give people 1,000 words about who you are or what you do. Yeah. But you do want to show images that are only outstanding images. And I've been on websites. I was on one website a couple of years ago where the woman had 4,200 images. You can't...
That's an archive.
Yeah, it's an archive. And who cares? Yeah. The reality is that you only need, in my mind, you only need 6 to 10 images in any category. And you want to make what I call wow prints. You want to make them so good that one image is good enough that you get hired because it's so amazing for people to look at. Yeah. Let that one image tell the story who you are instead of building out all this nonsense. So when you talk about how broad an audience, that's like the first thing you have to define is who you are and what do you want to be to these people. Yeah. And that kind of falls also into the definition of success. Right. Is it really the Porsche in the garage, or is it the fact that you want to wake up every morning smiling? Right, right. For me, I got to a point in my career when I left on my own in 2009 to just go out and start my own business. Even though I had a great job, was making great money, all the benefit, being president at WPPI Rangefinder, I wasn't as happy in what I was doing as I am now. Yeah. So you define all of those things, and then in terms of getting out of the market, For example, a blog. You and I are both into the blogging world.
Sure.
A really good blog, and let's use a family or wedding photographer, any kind of people photographer in a community. If you make your blog helpful, then you're giving people content. Help them in how to take better pictures of their family. Teach them, here's some tips on great Thanksgiving pictures. Here are tips on how to drag the shutter on that little point and shoot of yours at the 4th of July so you get those gorgeous bursts of fireworks. Be helpful as an expert in photography and just give them the time. Give them ideas on how to get that great picture at grandma's 90th birthday party, because they're not hiring a professional, and at the same time, they're not going to steal business away from you. So teach them, use your blog for your community. One of the things that I love in terms of a project, you might get a word in here sometime.
No, go for it.
Just keep going.
I love it. Keep going.
Do profiles of your community. Everybody, I don't care if you've only lived in the community for a year, you've got a supermarket you enjoy, you've got a couple of pizza places you like, maybe there's a bank teller, maybe there's a gas station, maybe it's your doctor or the vet for the family pet.
Your circles.
Do your circle. Do profiles, and once a week, do a great shot of somebody in the community that you really enjoy, and maybe it's the host or the waiter or waitress or the chef at the pizza place. Do their headshot. One, it shows your work, and make it an environmental portrait. So you're going to shoot wide angle, and you're going to show the chef in the kitchen, or you're going to show the hostess at her counter or whatever, welcoming people as they come into the restaurant. And then just 50, 100 words about why you enjoy this place, but then let them know the day it runs on your blog, let them know it's running, print up a hard copy, give it to them in one of these $3 lucite frames that they'll put on, even your dry cleaner. As seen on Frederick's blog this morning, now they become your ambassador. You could do pets of the community. Brides, babies, pets. That's the 3 big reasons why people hire a photographer, number 1, 2, and 3. And then 4 probably becomes children, family, seniors, and boudoir. That takes you out to 8 of the top 8 reasons they'd hire you. Get out in your community and share that. If it's pets is number 3. Start doing pets of the community. And each time you do a pet, that pet owner, although I lived in LA for a long time, and somebody said to me once, you can't own your pet. All right, I'm sorry.
You can only live with them.
Yeah, right? until Molly can get in the car and go buy her own dog food, I own her. But that's that California, our pets are part of our lives mentality. But take the time to get to know the community and let the community get to know you, and they all become your ambassador. And that's where your blog starts to build that following within your community.
That's brilliant. So business-wise, you're looking at that. So let's go down that timeline. They follow your advice. They watch this video and they're like, okay, this is awesome. I've built my circle and I've done portraits of all the people, and now I'm getting referrals from those people, and people are seeing my work. Now what? So what's the goal? So you mentioned, how do you define success, or what's the definition of rich?
Right.
It's different for every person, obviously, but broad strokes. How do they put a line on it? Do they say, in other words, do they say, okay, in order for me to pay all my bills and have $1,000 left over at the end of the month, that's success for me? Or I should be, I need $1 million in the bank. When I hit $1 million in the bank, then I'm successful. How do they figure that out?
I don't know how they really figure it out. There's a great consultant by the name of Ed Foreman, who's now in his 80s, who spoke to us at Polaroid years ago. And he talked about one of the problems with people. And the conversation goes something like this. Once the kids are out of high school, we're really going to go off and have fun. And then it becomes, once I get the promotion, we're going to go off and have fun. And then it's, once we pay for college and we get the house paid off, we're going to travel a little, have fun. And then one day you're lying in the casket on the way to the cemetery, and you're saying, oh, damn, I forgot to have fun.
Right.
So to me, it's a balance. You've got to have fun in what you're doing. You got to love it. You also have to have benchmarks, and there are motivational analysts that have said that you should take a picture of something that you want and have that in front of you to motivate you. That goes back.
Ask the
that's
universe
like 23
for the
years
house.
ago. That's it. Ask the tooth fairy to, you're going to hit the lottery this week, and you're going to get that $400 million.
Power of positive thinking.
You got it. But in the meantime, you got to be happy in what you're doing. I believe that if you're happy in what you're doing, all the rest of the stuff falls in place.
Yeah.
It's just, I heard Clay Blackmore say years ago that you just need to learn to give back, because whatever you give back will come back to you.
Yeah.
Don't count the dollars or the time. Just be helpful, because sooner or later it all comes back to you. And that's, I'm finding so much of that is true now.
Yeah.
I am happier. I've worked with some amazing photographers that every now and then say, hey, you know what? We tried this and it worked.
Yeah.
Or they'll call me and say, this is crap, it didn't work. And then we start taking a look at why it didn't work. But again, it's all about how are you going to attack the market? What is it that you want? It might be, if it's $1 million in the bank, then you got to take a look at your pricing structure. You're not going to get to $1 million in the bank if you're shooting weddings for $1,000 and handing the bride the disc.
Right.
You also have to have the skill set. You want to demand $5,000 or more to shoot a wedding, or $10,000, get into that higher price point, then you better make sure that your work is better than your competitors, and you better be
$10,000 work.
Yeah, you better be giving them something that they're going, oh my God, I've never seen an album like this.
Yeah.
Or you've had Suzette Allen on this program a lot. Suzette is doing presentations. Suzette is selling hybrid technology. She's not just selling an album or prints. There's Suzette.
There she is.
You're getting a plug now. You're getting a plug.
We're talking about you.
Great plug.
You can come do a little photobomb in here.
Yeah, you can photobomb, come walking through. And speaking of Suzette.
I know.
No, but the whole idea is that if you understand technology now, and you understand that camera right there, then you know that you can do still images and video and put it together in hybrid technology, and you can give your client a 60 or 90 second holiday card that's going to knock their socks off.
They can't get from any place else.
Yeah,
right?
but stop selling the same old thing.
Yeah.
And here we are. I mean, technology now, I'm having so much fun with this stuff.
And it keeps changing and getting better and better.
That's right.
Right, yeah. So what's next for Skip Cohen? I mean, we got your website up here, Skip Cohen University. Tell us what that is. What is Skip Cohen University, for one? You teach people how to be you, or what?
Yes, how to grow hair like this.
I'm trying to get some gray in there.
I'm only 27, but I dye my hair so I get more respect.
There you go.
Older.
There you go.
No, it's right now. SCU started out, and it's morphed into something even more. It started out as essentially an educational resource, and we were going to do a couple of live programs each year. It's now morphed into more of an online program. And then instead of me trying to coordinate and do my own, we did Skip Summer School 5 years in a row. Yeah. There might be one that comes back someday in the future because it's so much fun to do. But it's not so much fun to go to sleep at night because they're so labor intensive. So we dropped the live programming and instead got more into podcasts, webcasts, content. Right now, I mean, every Monday morning there's a new thing in Luminary Corner. Some of them now are from me because I'm shooting more and more with Lumix, and if I think I've got something unique, like demonstrating low light capabilities on I'm shooting with the GH3 right now, being able to show that, then I'll go ahead and do my own blog post. But it's only to show a point. Otherwise, I've got something new every Monday from one of the luminaries. Weekend Wisdom, you and I have talked about. Me jumping in with you on TWIP one of these days, talk about business and marketing.
You're going to be on TWIP. You're going to be a permanent fixture on TWIP.
All right, remember, you heard it here, everybody.
Permanent fixture.
We
need a business person, and you know business, apparently.
But knowing business, apparently. But the whole issue is, come on, everybody, learn from my mistakes, and then make your own that are different.
Yeah. If you're going to make mistakes, be creative about them, right?
Yeah, come up with some really good, juicy ones that totally screw up your life instead of just, the wedding or that one family shoot. Yeah, go for one that really, puts you in therapy for 2 or 3 years. Something really rich.
Yeah.
No, but it's a resource for photographers.
Yeah.
There must be at this point now, after 2 years, there are over 1,000 blog posts.
Brilliant.
I do my own posts almost every day, but then there are guest posts from the luminaries. There are different video. There is a huge video section.
Every day you're posting up there, though.
I post almost, except for this week where I announced I did a blog post about being off the grid, and we went to Sedona for 3 days, and I did not post, did not look at my email, didn't look at anything, but I knew I'd crack when I saw Mark over there. The whole issue was I'm just going to step away from it. Otherwise, 7 days a week, There's something that's going live on there. And some days there might be 3 to 5 different blog posts. It might be one from Pro Photo on lighting. It could be a new Panasonic video that's come out on Lumix.
Yeah.
Could be a guest post.
But you're in there that frequently, how do you manage to keep Sheila from not giving you the stink eye all the time?
I don't. But I have respect when I get the stink eye. I know that this means, all right, get away from the computer. You know how we all do
your timer, your egg timer?
Well, the egg timer is when she looks at me and it gets ugly.
Yeah.
It scares me, so I shut off the computer. But we all do it. This is a problem with independent entrepreneurs. With when you own your own business, the hardest discipline of all is, I thought it would be hard to discipline myself to do it.
Yeah.
No, it's harder to separate yourself. You walk by the computer and let me just take a look at email real quick.
Yeah.
Or
and
let
then you
me
get
just
sucked in.
Yeah, let me just, you know what? I got 10 minutes to finish this blog for tomorrow morning. Yeah. Well, there is no 10 minutes in. It's like 7 to 1 in a dog year.
It's dog years.
It's dog years. So 10 minutes is really 70 minutes.
Do you give yourself a set time? Like every morning you get up, have coffee, you sit down, you blog, and you're done? Or is it, okay, something struck me, I'm going to go blog about it? Yeah.
Oh, it's a little bit of both.
Okay.
I mean, there was one night where at 3 a.m. Sheila woke up and I wasn't in bed. And where is he? And I'm literally... I won't describe the scene, but you can figure it out.
Yeah.
I'm standing there. I've got this big whiteboard in my office, and I love the whiteboard because I have to write it out by hand. I can't type it. I won't remember it. I can't key it into my phone. I've got to write it out by hand. So I've got this big whiteboard, and I had an idea which wound up being Skip Cohen University, and I had all these circles and lines, and it's like by the time I was done, it was like 3:45, and she comes in, what the hell are you doing? In fact, she was a lot tougher on me. Yeah. And I said, I had this idea. Come here, sit down. You got to listen to it. Yeah. Because she knows that I'm nuts. That's all part of it. It's being a knucklehead. She said, yeah. And that was an exception. Most of the time, it's just, all right, are we going to have dinner together tonight? Are you going to get away from the computer? So I'm usually on between 7 and 7:15. Yeah. I take a fast, cursory look at my email. Then I blog. Then I do my tweets. Then I go to Facebook, do the things I want to do there. Then I'll go back to email, check my email, and then I'll come up with what I want to do, what I want to have for tomorrow. And then there are days when I get up where I haven't prepared anything, and it's really ironic. Some of your best, and you've seen this, some of your best posts that hit home the hardest are things that you thought everybody would hate. And all of a sudden you get all this feedback about, oh my God, I needed to hear this
brilliant.
Today.
You're like,
it's just, I mean, that goes back to, again, your website is about what you sell. Your blog is about what's in your heart. Yeah. And just being honest with people, because everybody's got the same frustrations at one time or another.
Everybody's human. Yeah. Everybody's human. So what's next for you?
I don't know.
Any trips coming up?
I don't know. Well, actually, next for me,
extension to SCU.
Next for me is speaking at Shutterfest.
Oh, cool!
Which I'm really excited about. I'm doing 2 programs. One is a short one,
an
hour and a half.
Yeah.
Sal Taylor. The other one is 3 hours called Skip Cohen Unplugged, where there's going to be a show ahead.
I'm not even going to make a joke about that.
I'm going through my top 100 pet peeves.
Oh, nice!
And just one at a time. Because every one of them relates. Well, everyone. Well, it might be. Yeah. You could be hitting on an idea.
There you go.
Every one of them has something to do with things that our photographers are doing to hold back from making money. Yeah. And that's part of it.
I need that.
Yeah.
I need that.
And the other part that I'm doing now, in terms of what's next, I'm having so much fun co-hosting with SPTV.
Look at that. We got to bring Suzette up.
In fact, hang on a minute. We need to bring that up.
Bring up Suzette. So, speaking to his mic. Tell us what you did here. Flip that around so that we can see the camera.
How are you going to speak into my mic? You have to get very. Hang on a minute here. All right.
Don't speak into his mic like that. On that
this
side.
is going to be like.
I know.
Okay, you can hear me.
All right.
Yeah, we can hear you.
So we just photographed him with his dad a couple minutes ago. I did a few stills, and then at the end, I just rolled video, and I told him, give him a big hug like this.
Yeah.
And that is the shot right
there. And that's from video.
That's from video.
Just over there, 2 feet away.
All right.
Just now.
All right, so again, let's throw in the technical side. When you're shooting 4K video, you're pulling off an 8-megapixel file.
Yes.
From a single frame.
And it's beautiful.
That is fantastic. Look at that. Wow. That's a family heirloom right there. Instant. Did you show him? You got to show him. He's right there. Yeah. All right, so let's wrap it up, Skip. So, SCU, Skip, you were out.
SCU, and I'm co-hosting for SPTV, so I'm starting to get more time in front of the camera.
Awesome.
Which I now have an
finally
unbelievable appreciation for the fact that you can do this and not throw in a lot of ums.
Yep.
I spit before. I've never seen you spit on camera. It just happens.
Yeah.
You get the names right. I'm sitting here and I can't remember Jen's last name.
I got two screens in my head.
Yeah.
It's like a presentation. I got current and upcoming right there in my head.
I'm not there yet. I'm almost there, but not quite.
Yeah, it's fun.
So that's what I'm doing.
It is always a pleasure chatting with you.
Good catching up
to you.
I
always feel like, my head's going to explode when we talk, and I feel inadequate every time we talk.
I'm not even touching that. No, I'm leaving it alone.
Don't do it. Don't touch it.
Yeah.
All right, Skip. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
So somebody wave when we're off the air so I can smack him.
Hold on a second. See, we have way too much fun in Lumix Lounge. Skip Cohen, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Frederick Van Johnson here at WPPI 2015. We'll see you in the next video.
All right, so during this video with Frederick, this is my personal apology to Jen Rosenbaum. I know her name. I know who she is. I spent time with her at God knows how many workshops. I have no idea what happened, but I just had one of those brain farts where I could not get her last name right. I called her Jen Rosenberg. She is Jen Rosenbaum. And Jen, we love you. We love the work you're doing. And this is my apology live online at the end of this, the minute I realized that I had totally screwed up.